the first really, really hard point in my career is getting through that injury and realizing my life goal of going to the Olympics is over. And I think I really relied on my family for their support. My coaches back home in Iowa obviously were amazing and supported me so much. But I think having a new goal and setting my eyes forward to college was something that really helped me.
Norah, welcome to Arkansas.
Thank you.
I know you've been here for a semester, but that's not that long. And after being in LA at UCLA for 4 years, I mean, you notice all the similarities?
Oh my gosh, they're identical.
What are the biggest differences?
I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, so coming to Arkansas was kind of felt like coming home to me. So I was kind of used to the smaller towns, less traffic and all that stuff. But I don't know, coming to Arkansas just felt so homey and welcoming, and I've absolutely loved it so far.
Arkansas has been a program on the rise with Coach Wieber. Before that, Mark and Renee Cook.
Yeah.
UCLA has been a dynasty for a long time. What was it like being a part of a program like that for the last 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, it was such an honor to be part of the UCLA legacy. Obviously, you know, they're so renowned and they have such a big name, and I'm so lucky I got the opportunity just to be part of that. And yeah, it was a great time, and I'm really, really thankful for my experience there.
As well, Norah Flatley.
Last pass, round up 1.5, front lay. This is an excellent routine.
And that's the way to go out.
So you're a grad transfer. So what's that look like? 4 years competing and you get to go again.
Yeah, so I did all of my undergrad at UCLA. I got my major in political science, so graduated, finished, and then decided I wanted to continue school and gymnastics. So that's why I entered the transfer portal. I was really motivated to get my graduate degree, which I'm doing in operations management here at the U of A. And yeah, I've loved it so far.
What's a political science future look like?
I mean, as of right now, I don't see myself getting into politics because things are a little crazy. And
Just a little?
Yeah, I don't see myself pursuing that right now, but I really, really enjoyed the major. And yeah, the philosophy part of it is something that I really enjoyed.
You say you don't want to get into politics right now, but you've had your share of just sort of political moments throughout your career. I mean, one of the things you're known for is just how long you've been in the gymnastics world. And it's funny to think at your age, which is how old?
22.
That you're maybe nearing retirement.
Yeah.
Like that's a long career, right? You get to 22. Most of us we just can't wrap our head around that. But that's the gymnastics world. And you've been competing since you were?
I mean, I started gymnastics when I was about 2 years old, and I started taking it serious at probably 7 and 8 years old. And then I joined elite gymnastics to train for the 2016 Olympics when I was 13. So I've been like going at it hard for over 10 years now.
Yeah, and really you've been in it your entire life.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go through your journey a little bit. It's one of the exceptional things about your story, but we brought up the political science. There's something about you that, you know, I've read articles and what people say about you is you've always wanted to step up and you weren't afraid to put yourself out there for something that you felt like was injustice or maybe, you know, not doing right. And in today's world, for a lot of us, man, you can really get and you throw yourself in the fire by putting yourself out there. So where did that come from? Where you've been able to do that, whether it was at UCLA standing up for a teammate or something had happened? Where did that come from?
I think that the root of that comes from how my parents raised me. They always told me, stick up for what you believe in and never be afraid of the repercussion of that. So that's definitely the root of it. But coming from the sport of gymnastics, which has had obviously a very intense background the past 5 or 6 years, and witnessing that, I think that's where my passion grew to support my teammates around me 100% of the time. And if I see something that I don't agree with, you know, I'm gonna say something, because just far too long in the sport of gymnastics have the athletes been walked over, so.
Yeah, it's interesting not to get too far into the abuse part of some of the things that's happened, and we've seen the trials and just you know, the amount of people that anybody that's known anything about the Olympics has heard about.
Yeah.
we hear about the grind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's and it's like that in a lot of sports.
Yeah.
But because this one happens at such a young age, can you explain just as a kid what it's like going through that kind of intensity? First of all, what does that intensity look like?
It's a lot of pressure. I was very lucky to have coaches that really supported me back in Iowa, and also very lucky to have parents that put pressure on me in a healthy way, but also if I ever wanted to, you know, they always gave me the option, if this is too much, you can take a step back. But I definitely witnessed so many of my national teammates go through some really hard things, and definitely wasn't easy. It opened my eyes, and I think I had to grow up pretty young. Just because seeing their experiences and how they were getting treated, I think I just started to view things very differently. And I was just like, wow, like I don't agree with this. So that's, I think, where my stance on things started to take play. Yeah,
and just to be clear, I'm not trying to put the two things together about abuse, but there's this, you know, sexual abuse or anything. But there's this like verbal, like some people would say verbal abuse, and this just win at all costs mentality that, I mean, just seems different in gymnastics at 7, 8, 10 years old. It is. It's definitely a very intense sport. I mean, not everybody's like that, but I mean, it is. We see this, and we've heard these stories about, you know, Olympics and what goes in. If you want to be good in gymnastics, like you have to start really, really young. Like I said, I started taking it really serious at 7, 8 years old. Like, if I had a kid now and they were 7, 8, I would not be putting them through that and not be telling them, you know, like the Olympics is your goal and like you have to take it very serious. So as a kid, I think the fact that like we could comprehend that and like understand that like, wow, like we have to take our sport serious, we have to work very hard, we have to be disciplined, like that's unlike any other sport that I know.
Back 1.5 front layout. That is finesse with a capital F. She could have ended up a little short on that, and she pulled that out like.
You placed 7th overall at the NCAAs last year. Let's go back to just sort of your young career, and not to embarrass you, but walk us through some of your. I mean, you've had medals, and you know, going back to the early 2010s, but at an early teen age. Walk us through some of the successes that you've had and how you sort of figured out, man, I'm pretty good at this.
I think I've always had more of a passion for working hard than actually winning the medals and being on the first place podium. I always just loved being in the gym and getting better, pushing past my limits. That was the most rewarding thing for me. So I think getting the medals and being on the first place podium was just what came after all that hard work, luckily. But I just always had a passion for working hard.
How many medals do you have?
I don't know, I don't count.
Yeah, too many?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, my success and being on the podium like isn't number one for me. And I just value now being in college, I value mostly our team culture and how I can support the younger ones and how I can help teach them how to be their best when their best is needed.
Tell me, going back to your parents and how you sort of became like this.
Yeah.
And you're accomplished, you know, it's not like you haven't done great things, but tell me how you figured out this balance in that you were in it for more of the journey than just the result. I mean, results are part of the work you put in, but there's so many people in sports who have amazing journeys that might not win a gold medal or even be in the Olympics. Yeah.
I think it, obviously it stems from my parents, but my dad is the hardest worker I've ever met. He would work 12, 14-hour days, just the hardest, toughest person I've ever met.
What's he do?
He's an electrician.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was in the military, and then he became an electrician. So my dad, like, he is like my inspiration when it comes to work ethic because he's just like the toughest person I've ever met. So I think that's where my work ethic stems from, is him, and just, he always just told me, just whatever you do, just work your butt off and the results will come. So I never worried about, you know, how I was gonna place or whatever. I just worried about what I did every single day, getting 1% better in the gym.
Tell me about your mom.
My mom, she's the fun one. She's a PA, so she's in the medical field, which I was really lucky growing up to have, a mom that could help with my injuries, help keep me healthy. But she's also a very hard worker. I think she's where I get my spunky fun side from. But yeah, I just appreciate the influence my parents have had on me my whole life.
Yeah, that's a nice mix. Siblings?
Oh yeah, I have a brother and 2 sisters. They're all older.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the baby of the family?
I am.
You get picked on a little bit?
No, I pick on them.
Yeah. Did you get the good baby treatment?
I did. Yeah, because I was the athlete, so obviously they had to take care of me and help support me and everything that I did. So I was lucky.
You mentioned injuries. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've had some, right?
Yeah.
Quite a few. Talk about some of the adversity you've gone through.
Yeah. So some of the injuries that I've had have been mainly from being overworked, and a lot of like stress fractures, stress reactions. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had like a scary fall or anything. But before the 2016 Olympics, I think a month or 2 before trials, I actually fractured my foot. So I had to sit the trials out, couldn't fulfill my dream of being an Olympian. And that was sad. Definitely like one of the lowest points in my elite career, but just got over it.
So was that sort of your shot?
Yeah.
Like, and then, and something like that happens and it's taken away of no fault of your own.
Yeah. So I felt like my life was over after that. Like after, x-rays came back and they said your foot's broken, like you got to be out for the next 6 months. Like I thought my life was over. I was like, I'm done being an athlete. I'm done being a gymnast. Like I have no hope. But obviously things heal and emotions heal. And over time, obviously, I bounced back and set eyes on UCLA and my career there, and that's where things kind of got better.
How did you get past that time,
Yeah.
that devastation mentally?
I think that was like one of the hardest point, like the first really, really hard point in my career is getting through that injury and realizing my life goal of going to the Olympics is over. And I think I really relied on my family for their support. My coaches back home in Iowa obviously were amazing and supported me so much. But I think having a new goal and setting my eyes forward to college was something that really helped me. I'm very much a goal setter, so making that goal was really important and helped me a lot.
Back up a little bit. You lived in San Diego, Wisconsin, and Iowa.
Yeah.
Now, were those just family moves? Did they have anything to do with your career?
The first 2. So I was born in San Diego, moved to Wisconsin to be closer to family. And then from Wisconsin to Iowa, that was a move because my family wanted me to get coached by Shawn Johnson and Gabby Douglas's coach. So we made that move so that I could have one of the best coaches in the world, which is Liang Chow and his wife, Lee, which was a great move for me. And the foundation of my gymnastics is because of him.
Did you have much of a social life growing up? Outside of your friends in gymnastics?
I went to a few years of elementary school and middle school, so I got friends there. And in high school, that's when I started to be homeschooled. But because I had those friends in elementary school and middle school, they would bring me to prom and homecoming, and I'd get to do all the fun stuff. I didn't have to be in high school, but they'd bring me to like all the fun stuff.
It's kind of fascinating that you weren't in that environment, like once you got sort of past those early teen years.
Yeah.
And you're so social, and you hung on to those relationships.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you were over here on an island, but you kept all. What would you attribute that to?
I don't know. I think I've also always been social. I didn't want to cut myself off from the world and not feel like a human and not feel like a normal teenager. So definitely made an effort to, have those social interactions and get out of my house, get out of the gym once in a while to go have fun.
You are super popular on Instagram, especially for a college athlete. So how did you develop that? Where did that come from?
I honestly never made too much of an effort with my social media standings. I never pushed my platforms too much, but I think, I started my elite career when I was 13, and that's when gymnastics I think started to become more popular on social media. So I think having a really good breakout year in 2013, that kind of caught people's eye. And I think that's the year I started my Instagram account. So I think after I competed at championships and made an all-national team my first time, that's when followers started coming in. And I think from that point on is when, the Instagram started to grow. But I don't know, Instagram and social media has never been like my top priority.
You don't have any tips for the rest of us?
I don't know. I think I just got lucky.
What do you post? When do you post?
There's no rhyme or reason to what I do.
Is
on
it about
social
your
media.
career or just random things or both?
I do
or?
some gymnastics stuff, some, gymnastics videos, some about the team, some like selfies, some about my dog or my relationship, pictures that I think are cute or family, really anything.
So is Instagram your favorite social media platform?
I would say for me to put stuff out on, it is, but for me to use, no, I'd say that's TikTok, just because I can like scroll.
Can you confess to us what the longest amount of time that you've ever been on TikTok at one time is without realizing you were on that long?
Probably like, definitely over an hour, maybe two, when I got time.
I feel like that's nothing from people that I know that use TikTok.
Really?
I just go down. That's probably average.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Not making me feel too bad.
I think you're kind of in the average. What do you do? What's a day for you like that are the things you have to get done in the gymnastics world as a fifth year college athlete in her last year?
So right now, like the main priority for me is feeling really good and recovering after a meet and after practice, because being older and almost retired, my body definitely is feeling it, very tired, very fatigued. So the number one priority for me is getting really good sleep. So I try to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, wake up, go to practice for about 4 hours, and then eat lunch with my team.
Every day, 4 hours?
Yeah, usually. Well, no, except for Wednesdays and the day after the meet. So we get 2 days off a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Practicing for 4 hours. Perfecting moves.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
So
but
then,
when you've been doing that for basically your whole life.
Yeah, when I was training in elite, I was actually training like 35 to 40 hours a week. So almost double what I'm doing now.
Man, you gotta love doing that. And how does your body hold up?
I've really mastered my craft of taking care of myself, figuring out what supplements I need, how to hydrate best. My therapist here, my physical therapist, really take care of us. So she's been my lifesaver since I've been here, just giving my body what it needs and helping me bounce back after those competitions.
So I kind of cut you off when you're talking about the 4 hour practice. Keep going. What else?
Yeah, so after we practice, usually the whole team will go over to the Jones and eat lunch. And then after lunch, I'll head home, shower, take my dog out, and then crack open the books. And then get ready for bed and do it all over again.
Yeah, so not that you have a lot of time, but what do you do in the
Right now,
times?
Right now I love going around Fayetteville. Obviously, I have amazing coffee shops, so many fun things to do here. Besides that, hanging out with my teammates sometimes. I just do a lot of rest, take care of my body, recover, and get to bed early. That's kind of my go-to right now while I'm in the middle of season.
A year ago, you were a 3-time All-American at UCLA, beam all around regular season bars, 4-time All Pac-12 honoree. Why did you decide? We talked about it a little bit, but why Arkansas?
I was ready for a change. Obviously, I told you I've moved around my whole entire life, so I'm someone who loves change and loves a fresh start when it comes to some things. And after spending 4 great years at UCLA, I wanted something new. I wanted something fresh, and I also wanted to make sure I was really being supported by whatever staff I was going to. And I knew, having a prior relationship, being coached by Jordyn and Kyla being my teammate, I just knew like this was going to be the place for me to end my career being so supportive, but also fulfilling my crave for being adventurous and trying new things.
Yeah, you got to get out on the trails in Arkansas.
I know.
When it warms up.
Yeah, I'm excited. Devil's Den. I heard that one's amazing.
Yeah, you got to go on the hikes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Tell me more about your relationship with Jordyn and how it's impacted your career and your choice to come here, and what it's like to have her coach you.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows Jordyn is an icon and such a motivational person, but having a personal relationship with her is something that's been so special to me. She coached me my first year at UCLA. which I really connected with her. We had a lot of fun. And then obviously she left to come be the head coach here. And just to be able to be an athlete under her has been such an honor again. And I think we've both grown so much in our own ways since, not being around each other. And yeah, I think she's just like one of the best people I've ever been around. She's so motivating and she's so caring about her athletes and who we are outside of the gym and how we're doing as people, which is something that's really special and important to me.
What's it like to compete here as a Razorback or be part of this?
I love the energy of being a Razorback. Like the fans and just Razorback Nation has been so supportive, and I don't know if it's that SEC sports energy, but like you really feel it. The excitement and the love that the fans have for us is just like amazing.
And then just to be where you are in your career, do you feel sort of like a captain, a coach? What do you feel like at this point in your career as it relates to your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel the age difference sometimes, but at the same time, like I'm just as goofy as the freshmen. Like some days I have more energy than the freshmen, and I'm just like, let's go. But yeah, I've definitely taken that role of being one of the leaders on this team serious, and having a good influence on them, trying to teach them healthy ways to do things, and just trying to mentor them the best that I can from the people that I learned from, like Kyla and Jordyn.
Career-wise, where do we find you? We've talked about retirement a little bit, but where are you from a career standpoint? Is this your last year competing? Is that how this works? Mm-hmm. This will be it for you. So eligibility-wise, like this is my last year. In NCAA, you get 4 years of eligibility, but because of COVID, everybody got an additional year of eligibility. So I was able to do 5 years now. So yeah, but after that, I'm done, ready to move on. I'm so thankful for my time as a gymnast, but like I said, I love new things. I love new challenges, and I'm really, really looking forward to life after gymnastics. So how do you hope to finish this out, if that's not a dumb question? And even if it is, you can just still tell me.
No, it's not a dumb question. Like I said, I never set an expectation for results or standings on a podium. To me, it's more about how our team finishes culture-wise and how we feel as a unit once the season is done. And the memories that we made is the most important thing to me.
Do you have any idea what's coming next after this retirement ceremony?
Oh my gosh.
Sounds crazy.
No, I've honestly haven't planned for too much. I really just want to take the rest of this year to travel, go see family, and kind of do things I haven't gotten to do the past 22 years of my life. But yeah, no, nothing planned yet.
Do you see yourself staying in gymnastics in some way down the road?
I'm never going to say never about it, but I really think I need distance and a break from gymnastics just because I've been so invested and been a part of it for so long. I really just want to try something new, be a part of a different world, and, hang up the grips for a little bit and just do my thing.
When you think about the rest of your life after gymnastics, looking back on your career and everything that you've gone through, and we didn't get into how many injuries do you think you had that set you out for a while?
Oh, probably over a dozen.
Yeah. I mean, how many of them were serious as a broken foot?
Oh, I mean, I've broken both feet at different times. I've broken my shin, I've broken fingers, I've broken a bunch of different things. Sprained my ankles, probably half a dozen on each ankle.
Are you sure you didn't play football?
Yeah, my ankles are toast at this point, but
I don't think most of us understand how many injuries happen in
so
gymnastics.
Many. Yeah, and gymnasts are the toughest athletes. People don't believe it, but we are so tough. We will push through any injury. My foot was broken probably for a few months before I finally was like, okay, it hurts too bad.
Where does that come from? You're going to lose your spot, or what?
I don't know. I think unfortunately, it's been the way of the sport for so long is to push through pain. That's very unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it is. And I think things are getting better in college. I know since my time being here, Jordyn and the coaches really, really care about how we're doing with our injuries, but reflecting on, elite gymnastics, it's very common to push through pain. So me, I've just always been super motivated. And I think my motivation always outweighed kind of what I was feeling physically. Because I was like, I just got to keep pushing.
Where I was going with that to come back was what you've learned, what it's taught you, how you think that will impact whatever you do next and where you go from here.
Yeah, I think since I've gotten older, I've learned that usually it's not worth pushing through. And, you know, sometimes it is, depending, but it's always really important just to be smart with your injuries. And I think that's taught me just to like have care for myself. And, you know, it's really important to assess how you're feeling before you push yourself through something really hard. I think a lot of times maybe I shouldn't have pushed through, and that might have saved me from being able to go to big competitions. But as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten more smart with my body, with what I can and can't push through.
Going through the injuries and everything that happened with your Olympic dreams kind of getting smashed, and then to become the 2022 Comeback Gymnast of the Year, what did that mean to you?
So I felt like the 2016 Olympics were like so long ago that, I don't know, I haven't thought about them in so long, and like what I lost in it, because I found so much since coming to college that like it's just outweighed me not being an Olympian. So, I mean, it means a lot to be the 2022 college, Comeback Gymnast of the Year. Yeah. But like I said, I'm not fixated on the awards or, you know, there's so many amazing stories of gymnasts coming back from injuries, and, you know, I'm lucky to be one of those.
I was gonna ask you what kind of advice you have for gymnasts.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's different levels.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe give me a couple different levels. Maybe a parent sort of with a kid, or the kid at that, I don't know, around 10, and then maybe 13, 14, 15, and then maybe for a college athlete. What would you, or maybe it's all the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different for different ages. I'd say like for the younger ones, like parents just have to let them have fun, like prioritize their happiness. At all levels, at all ages, gymnasts should prioritize their happiness and having fun. But especially for that age, you know, childhood is very important, and you want them to have those memories of a fun childhood, not constantly in the gym. But yeah, that's what I would say for that age. For teenage years, depending on the goal, I mean, if you want to make it to the college level, obviously you have to work really hard and push yourself, and it's very competitive to get a full ride scholarship or even a walk-on spot on a team. So definitely those are the years that are really important to push yourself and be smart with your body so that you make it to the point where you can compete in college, but also, you know, work hard and push yourself. And then once you're in college, I'd say have really good time management, because things get really crazy as a college athlete. You know, you have school, you have a social life, you have gym and competing and traveling. So be really smart with your time, be really smart with how you're treating your body and how you're taking care of it, and also prioritizing having fun.
One of the most impressive things for me, just getting to know you a little bit here, is you're in a sport where it's all about your performance. Mm-hmm. And you're measured by that all the time.
Yeah.
And you go through all these injuries, you fight through all this stuff, and it's all about your identity. And you go through this, what I would say is a crisis, man, when you hurt your foot and you can't, you don't have your best chance to make the Olympic team. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid working that hard in gymnastics being what you do, but it's not who you are, it's not your complete identity?
I think that's definitely a struggle for a lot of gymnasts. I know I struggled with that till I got to college, because besides like getting to hang out with some friends outside of the gym, like I didn't really have too much besides gymnastics. So not making the Olympic team, I really felt like, oh my gosh, like that's who I am. Like if I'm not an Olympian, I'm no one, like I don't matter. But since going to college, like I really, you know, loved having a social life, loved being in a fun city and doing fun things that has taught me like there's so much more to gymnastics.
So I like to ask every student athlete that we talk to, when your time here is over, how do you hope to be remembered? Maybe a better way to ask it would be, what's the impact you hope to have left for somebody like you? But how would you prefer to be remembered from the people that have got to know you, see you compete, fans?
I hope my team remembers me as just someone who is positive and someone who also pushed them to be their best, but also, just prioritized having fun and prioritize working hard and being competitive. And yeah, just hope they remember me for being me and everything I had to offer.